I know they mad. They can't stop. Number one soundtrack in America. Black on. The number one movie. Went from making records. Making the whole wow. VHS soundtrack. The soundtrack. Told y'all to in the movie. Told y'all I'm gonna show y'all how to clean your dirty money up with good money. Invest into yourself. You heard? My partner gave me 50.
This is the I'm Kinda Famous podcast. I'm your host, Lester Rowe. New week, new episode every Thursday right here on the I'm Kinda Famous podcast network. Google Music, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, what else? iTunes, I think I said iTunes. Kinda Famous Pod, Kinda Famous Pod, Pod. Subscribe, like, tell a friend, share, all that. What else? We got go to the Facebook page. That's where all the conversations try to have. Where I try to have a conversation, or you can go to Twitter. Both same thing. Kinda Famous Pod, Kinda Famous Pod, Pod. Also, make sure you go to Arrow Films, arrowfilms.com, AROWE films.com. That's where you can get to the another way to get to the podcast. It's also a way to get to them clean ass people collecting merchandise and t-shirts and other shirts that fall in that collection somewhere as well. But also where you can watch all the video content I'm making. Why that's important? Because I'm working on a movie. I'm finna start updating quite a bit on the blog section so you can know the progress of that movie, because I'm doing something different and special with that. Also, that's where you can go to find the I'm Kinda Famous podcast network video clips on the via YouTube. So youtube.com/arrowfilms, and then go find the I'm Kinda Famous podcast playlist. And I might just start putting that in the show notes, because I think that's gonna make it easier. So I'm thinking on the fly, so that's that. All right, so we're gonna get right into it, because ain't no stranger, because I be getting the emails of where's the show. So last week we missed. This week obviously we late, and there's a few reasons for that, and I felt like I probably should just reveal this early, which I mean is apropos now. So as y'all may know, we went through the whole mental illness awareness week, and we talked a lot about that in that week, 4 days. I always make sure that playlist, or how to get to that playlist, is on the is in the show notes, because I think it's always useful for someone to get to. So and in that I admitted my own mental health issue with depression, and basically that's why things have been a little shaky or dicey with the show, because I'm also, not only am I doing this show, I'm also producing new shows. So there's the Catch These Hands that will have regularly, but as well as Who Up is one that I really, really care about. So I'm trying to make sure that I produce that correctly in the way that I like it. I've done like 7 or 8 episodes for it, but like now I look back on it and I don't feel like it's as strong as I want it to be. So I'm kind of revamping that before I release it, because I want to release that at a semi-regular basis as well. But with that, along with doing photography, along with writing the script, along with trying to shoot some other things, along with editing, along with shooting other projects, and having all this on my table, at some point, and with the seasons, of course, Thanksgiving is coming up, Christmas as well, the holidays, a lot of my depression gets triggered around the seasons. And as the seasons change and it gets darker, it's darker more than there is light outside, I am affected by it. And it makes me not want to do anything. And then when I am doing something, I hate meeting other people's expectations for me, which, it kind of comes with it, with what I do, being making entertaining content, be it for myself or someone else, and then how much I care about the shit that I'm making. Like, it's not about me as much as it is about the product and how the viewer responds to it, as well as the particular client I'm working with. So I'm never trying to leverage myself as much as if I make dope content and I'm creating dope visuals or whatever it is, the receipt will always come back to me because it's my imprint and I look at it differently from anyone else. So I'm never intimidated by anyone else as well. But with that is a lot of self-burden because I put a lot of I put in a shit ton of research. I like to know my shit. I like to feel like I know my client enough. I feel like I like to know the audience really well. So it's a lot of psychological shit that go with trying to make this the type of content that I make from my lens and my perspective. So it becomes tiresome. And then on top of that, when you're a magnificent motherfucker such as myself, a lot of people kind of gravitate towards the shit that I'm doing, and it seems like selfish and like arrogant to say, but it becomes overwhelming. And not in general, it's when I'm depressed, when I'm going through a spell. It's like just simple shit can just be enough to set me off where I don't want to deal with anybody. And I'm trying to avoid being reclusive, but it just got tough. And I started looking at wanting to do the show, and it's time to record the show, and I'm just like, I don't really want to do it. Then I say, okay, well, let me have a guest on, and then the guest can kind of help carry the show a little bit. And I couldn't get the guests that I wanted, and then I'm trying to plan these other events that go with it. It's just like all this stuff is all in one bowl, which is normal, which I'm fine. I signed up for that. But it's just when the depression starts to kick in, you really don't, like, you start to feel like you're not good enough to do any of this shit. And that you don't, like, it's almost like an excuse that, and I'm still going through it now, but I know that I'm making excuses for not fulfilling my commitment. And so I feel like I can't get over that hurdle the way I want to. And so instead of trying, I regress back. I just say, fuck it. All right, I'm gonna sit up, watch this show, and then I get up and do it. Okay, let me clean up, and then I get up and do it. Okay, let me organize this, and then I get up and do it. And it's like finding any distraction to do the thing that's required of you, but has an expectation as well from others. And so I skipped last week and said, you know what, I ain't gonna do it. And I hop back up this week. And then even this week, as I got closer to the show, it was just like, well, I really gotta do this show, which I don't. I mean, it's my show, it's my network. I can do this thing the way I want to do it, and it is what it is. But I said when I jumped into this, and once I went week to week, that I can't just afford to fall off because I want to fall off. And I'll be honest, I could have faked it. Like, I got interviews that's sitting in the tank right now that needs to be released, but it's not the right time, and the timing would suck. So what was it wouldn't be right. It'd be just purely because I'm just feeling the type of way, and I'm begrudgingly putting content out. And I said, and it's a lot of topics that I'm not talking about even on this show that I could have talked about and need to talk about and will talk about, but I want to have guests for that. And it's like, well, fuck, I don't have relevant content right now that I care about, that I can put my 2 cents in. Because you got the rape shit that's out there. You got, of course, Trump. You got, some of the black social media stuff with the Nicki Minaj's, the Tyrese's, and all this shit that could be talked about. But I think it's better to talk about with a guest because you can bounce that back and forth. So I'm holding off on any of that because of that same reason. And, as you listen to the show, I got a lot of friends in Hollywood. So some of the Hollywood stuff is interesting, but I don't want to do that long because I want some Hollywood people to talk about it. So, but I said, you know what? Even if I'm late, I need to get this week out. And I'm going to crack the show talking about this. Because honestly, man, this shit is hard. Like, y'all, I mean, I don't know. People treat, like, mental illness issues as, like, some, like, acceptable, fun thing that they can just have. I got anxiety. I got OCD. I'm ADD. I'm depressed. I'm all this kind. Like, but when it's real for, like, people who really deal with that shit ain't fun. Like, it ain't no, like, oh, I'm anxious for an hour or I'm anxious about this shit coming up. It's like, I hate to say crippling, but it will put you in a state, put you in lack of progress. Like you're not moving. You're not doing the shit that you need to do. It's beyond procrastination. And it's like you dread the shit that you gotta go deal with. And no matter what, you still gotta deal with it. You can't just not, because you gotta do it. All the shit that you're avoiding is sitting right there, and it's just like you don't want to. And then you start feeling like you're not good enough to. And then you start feeling like, why? What's the point? Then you start feeling like, why am I even the one doing it? Who the fuck am I? You start to beat yourself up. And then, unfortunately, in a lot of cases, I shouldn't say a lot of cases, in some cases, that all that can turn to a motherfucker killing himself. Because it's like, why am I even here? And it's not because, it's irrational, because it's nothing but myself that's creating this narrative that's destructive. I create the narrative that's destructive to my life. And it happens around this time for several reasons. I've been pretty much alone for most of my adult life. And when I say that, I don't mean like I can't go hang out with people, I can't kick it, but like I don't have the same tied connections as a lot of people around me. A lot of it has to do that I ingratiate myself deeply in the work that I do. Like it's shit that people don't see or recognize, that my name not even on, that I'm a part of or help do or create. And that is a defense mechanism to not feeling alone. And with that, I don't put myself in a lot of exclusive situations, for the simple fact is I worry about hurting the people around me and being destructive to the people around me. So it's easier for me to be a recluse to people who I'm not close to like that. And not saying I don't care about them, not saying that they don't care about me, but if I'm a recluse, no one's going to stop and wonder where I'm at. What is he doing? They wait for me to pop back up and then like, oh, that's what he's doing. But I could be sitting up, doing cocaine, fucking bitches, and like doing heroin or some shit, and no one's ever going to stop and say, let me go see what this motherfucker doing. And that's the life that I build for myself. And I'm not doing any kind of shit. I'm doing the work, or I'm just like tending to myself. But I don't know how to fix that, honestly. And, I've tried different things to try to fix that, but it's just, it's easier. That's really what it comes down to. It's easier. I feel like I'm talented enough that I can always come back from anything. And so I don't really get bothered too much by missing, but I mean, I'll be lying if I said that it's not a problem. Because it is. But it's mental. And the reason I'm talking about it is because I don't want people to one, continue to treat mental illness like depression, these little fashion like things, as some cool thing that you can have, and people will be like, oh yeah, hit the heart, hit the like, tell you it's okay, cheerlead for you and all that. I want to be open with it. I want to be open with it, and I want others to feel like they can be open with theirs. And I want people to not ignore it. And maybe because I got to talk for an hour on multiple shows, then I got to go create and all this kind of shit, to let people know, like, you can still continue to go. You can continue to go. You don't have to stop. And I don't know how people view me in general in that way, I guess. But if you're a person that suffers from depression, unless I kill myself, let me be an example how you can keep going. Because the shit is tough. And I don't know. I just feel like I need to crack the mic and kind of explain that shit. Because, yeah, originally it was like, well, I just jump back in this and get back to the show and not have to say shit because it's just a week, no one to notice. But I did the whole week behind it. So why continue to hide the reason why? And you know what? Here, we'll do this. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna clip some of this, right? For the Instagram and Facebook and all that. If you want to talk about it, if you got your own shit, feel free, hit me up, kindafamouspod@gmail.com, KINDA famous POD @gmail.com, or jump in the comments, or whatever. If you want to talk to me or feel like that you dealing with some issues similar to that, hit me up. I have no problem with that. The conversation has to continue, and if we don't talk about it, we don't get progress. All right, moving on to the next subject, man. Moving the fuck on to the next subject. Actually, I got an advertisement I want to dump right here. Hey, you been over to Touch Body Works yet? Go to Touch Body Works at evoketouch.com. That's EVOKE touch.com. With skincare products that's so natural, you can eat it. But don't. All right, we're back. So this show is going to be a little different. I mean, not that different. Hell, I gave you the intro. So in lieu of what I've been dealing with and going through, I decided that this show, here shortly, I'm going to run a recorded conversation, me and my partner. And we just kind of, we do what I would have did on the show, except it's more organic. A lot of people who know me always tell me to go ahead and have them on the show just because they know our conversation. But in due time, we just talk. I mean, we talk about some of the shit with in politics, with the some of the sexual assault charges and delinquency and things like that with the sexual stuff. I do have a big plan actually, to address sexual assault, rape, molestation, these sorts of topics on a future show. But I want to do it in a real special way. So I'm not going to, on my show in particularly right now, jump too far in it. We just have a conversation like we normally have a conversation. So I know, like, in general, I don't really talk relationships on my show just yet. But in this, we talk a little bit about the political climate. We talk a little bit about some of the shit that I go through as a filmmaker that happened at one of the events I worked with EFC. I'll just say that. And we talk about shit I can't remember. You just have to listen to it, but it's pretty good. We go back and forth. It's more natural conversation. It's some dicey shit that gets said in there, but I hope within context, because I believe people are smart enough to understand context, that within context y'all get, like, we're not bad people. There's no bad people on this. We just like to talk shit and rib, like fellas, locker room talk, as they say. But so that's that. That's coming up here in a second. I want to make sure I talk about a few things before we switch over to that. So by now you should know this is the I'm Kinda Famous Podcast Network, and this is obviously the flagship show, I'm Kinda Famous Podcast. Here coming up Wednesday, we got a new Catch These Hands episode. It's real good with Manny the Man Dog Mraz. Look, this is gonna be a controversial one. He's an MMA fighter, but a lot of people know him for being controversial. I call them conspiracy theorists. And we jump into a whole lot of conspiracy. We talk about stuff like the Vegas shooting. We talk about, man, it's so much. It's so loaded. And I didn't talk about everything I wanted to talk about. On top of the fact that we could have went deeper on some of the things that we did speak on, But I was like, I'm sitting here, got the thing recording. I'm looking at the clock like, nah, we got to move on to the next one. Let me see what you think about this. But it's a real good episode. That's the thing about Catch These Hands. It's not specifically about MMA or combat sports or boxing or kickboxing or whatever. It's just really like I got fighters on, and we'll eventually just kind of talk into the thing that works into their wheelhouse. A lot of them just have a straight passion of fighting, and some of them have these other interests that they have that I find also interesting as well. So, Catch These Hands, new episode coming Wednesday. We got some video stuff that goes with it, but looking at it, I'm not in any of the shots, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm the host; I got to be in the shot at least. But if not, if I find something that makes sense, I will put together little video clips of just him kind of making some points. A lot of stuff I thought I was going to disagree with, and it's kind of funny. If you sit and talk with a person that people think is a conspiracy theorist, sometimes you might find yourself agreeing with. I say this. We was at his place out on the deck, and I got everything set up. I like to record outside. And so this was probably one of the most uncomfortable episodes, not because like I thought something was gonna happen between me and him or arguments or anything like that, but parts of me started to feel like, damn, what if like the black helicopters show up or like something legit happens? Like it was many conversations we would have, and I would just get the chills. It was crazy. And there was parts of this episode that I actually had to delete out because it was too controversial. And even though I run my show, I don't really edit. So I don't really fear taking anything out. But this was the first time something was said. Then I was like, you know what? Let me pull that out, and maybe I'll put on the deleted scenes or something. But I had to pull it out because it was just too controversial. It was too much. And I have to still be responsible with what's said on the show, even though the views and the opinions expressed by Manny are not mine or the I'm Kind of Famous podcast network. Still got to be responsible, or Arrow Entertainments for that matter. So that's coming up Wednesday. Very entertaining show. If you like conspiracy, this is a good one for you. And of course, if you're an MMA fan, listening to this and you know Manny, it's a good one to check out. So that's coming up. But before we get out of here, I want to give a big shout out to my people back from yesteryear. And what I find dope is a lot of people I grew up with is popping. They doing shit. It's always quick. It's easy to just think that all we do is rhyme words and play sports and things like that. Even though that's a talent, black people doing so much more. And I like I don't know why I said it like that, but like I like the fact that I can look at any part of my childhood and pull and run into somebody from my childhood, and they're like doing something amazing. And from acting to, of course, filmmaking, just things in entertainment and outside of entertainment. In this case, I got some homegirls that I grew up with, who got into the fashion business, but they did something a little different. It's a little and really dope. So first off, big shouts out to Danette Urquhart and Katrina Wofford. Like, I mean, from the South Side, just like me, you know what I mean? So it's kind of dope to see that they getting their thing popping. But what they're doing, they got a brand called Urquhart and Wofford. I'm gonna keep fucking it up because I'm just a little down right now. But Urquhart and Wofford, and basically it's I hate to call it a plus size fashion line because that's not what it is. But what it is a fashion line that's made for people with bigger builds, athletes, muscle bound people, with unique shapes and body types. So they just launched this. It just came out. And I saw it and I was like, man, I ain't heard from Danette in a while. Let me see what this is about. And I checked it out and I was like, yo, this shit is pretty dope. This is pretty clean. I went to the little website that just launched. And I'm gonna tell you how to get to it because you gotta be able to spell her name right. So it's urquhartandwofford.com. QUHARTANDWOFFORD. And of course, like everything, I'm gonna have it in the show notes. So you are QUHARTAND Wofford, WOFFORD.com. Go over there. It's a men's clothing and accessory brand for guys who don't wear standard sizes. They specialize in men's button-up shirts, accessory styling, and of course, they do a little bit blogging on there. So go over to Urquhart and Wofford, and if you, especially you athletes, you might as well check it out because I know y'all don't want to be over in that big and tall section getting that sloppy ass, big ass shirt where you can't tuck it in, you look goofy, look like you're wearing a balloon body and shit. Go over there, man, and instead of calling it plus sizes, they go with the extended sizes. Dallas Cowboy defensive lineman Jonas Seawright, he supports him. He's with it. He got some of the gear, and it's just some regular dope gear, man. Get over there to Urquhart and Wofford and .com, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later. But right now, we're gonna go ahead and kick into the second part of the episode. Hope y'all enjoy. Until next week or until Wednesday. This is the I'm Kind of Famous podcast.
Yeah, but Holocaust feels like Make America Great Again in the sense that so you had the Jews and the Nazis and that was them saying or Hitler saying we need to purify our people, we need to be the superior whatever. And so it's just like the same shit when you go the white people are going or this certain type of white people person is saying no gays, no blacks, no immigrants, like anything that's not us. I said, and the rhetoric, the way that it comes out, that's the uncomfortable part. That's the part that can be very similar to that and scary. And it just comes down. And he was saying he hopes that he wished that an EMP. It was a really good part of the episode. He's like, I hope an EMP drops and just erase everything. And I said, but don't you think that the white man would try to take power over again? Like now they get to do it and know what they need to do, and then the inferiority complexes and all this type of shit. And it was he said no because he feels like we're too smart for that now. And when we went back and forth on that, meaning minorities, black people, we have a degree of understanding that we didn't have back then coming from the slave route.
There's been falls of greater empires than the USA or of the current.
Shit, he meant the whole world.
Oh, well, I'm just saying, the shit just keeps. It's cyclical, really, in my opinion. We never do learn enough from our mistakes. Even what I watch this shit that's going on with our government now, and I'm like, this is terrible. Our leaders are really the worst kind of hypocrites in the world. And we just kind of meander through life accepting it, the status quo. But it's really pretty fucking, as far as morals and shit, where we came from with Obama, to just now, it's how fucking low are y'all willing to go? Where is up from here? I feel like we're in a crisis right now. It's pretty fucking
for sure. But see, I feel it on both sides. I feel like you got this Republican side that's one extreme, and then the Democratic side that's one extreme. But not the crazy. The thing about the Democratic side that is extreme is not the politicians as much as the people. Where we start getting to what's the shit called where we do everything correct, politically correct. It's everything got to be right. It got to be this. And it's wait. There's this place in the middle where I want to exist in where, okay, I hear your idea. I don't like it, but I don't necessarily want to say you can't say these words and you can't do these things anymore. Because I think that's boring too. I'm not, I think it's too much. And I think it comes from I hate to say hipster type people because the black community, obviously we loose with words. But then you have this hipster community who's just we're gonna come and save the day. And we're going to do it by being positive. We're going to do it by being right and do all that Woodstock stuff without necessarily being Woodstock. When Woodstock was like, this is a culture of people versus like that culture of people saying, let's run this shit. And like, I'm not with that shit at all because it's just, I think both sides, like, I think that's the crisis. It's like, wait, why are we pulling so far both ways?
Control, man. Like as far as, cause I'm starting to come back to the center where I'm like, I feel like there's got to be probably 5 to 15% of people that really rock with Trump. As far as like the racism shit, don't want fucking Jews, want people separate and shit, all kind of white supremacists. I don't think it's a really large. I think you got Trumpers that think they're just fine. They just like Trump. Like they don't hate black people. They don't hate Hispanics. They don't hate. They just like Trump. I said they really rock with him. I think it's a pretty small percentage, and I feel like our leaders are the ones who dropping the ball the most because, like, even what you're saying, it's starting to make sense more. Like, if you actually talk to a person, they not that different than you. They like, even my experience in Tennessee, it's like, man, all these people that I know probably support Trump, they just people. They want a good life. Like everybody else, they don't really hate nobody. They don't really give a fuck. They just like me. I don't give a fuck about what other people do in their house. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, that's their orientation. They fucking Republican or whatever. And so, and then you got it more polarized in the government. And so it's just, I feel like if they actually stood up and said, nah, man, like for the whole McCain thing, where he said, no, he's a decent man. Talking about Obama. Like, what happened to that shit? Like, all the hyperbole going on. Oh, this person is terrible. And the main person doing it is the fucking president. And so I feel like we just lost right now. It seems like it's lost as far as leadership goes. And it's like, man, that shit is not, it's scary, man. You don't have anybody telling them, hey, man, you need to chill the fuck out. And if a Democrat say it, it's fucking partisan. Instead of just saying, nah, man, like, he's embarrassing our fucking country.
Yeah,
and then giving power to people
like you would think that we would have enough. I think that's the crisis, is that we can, you know, and that's pretty much what damn near all my documentary shit is about. Like, why do we see wrong, know it's wrong, and do this shit anyway? Like, to accept the fact that like Donald Trump can't say anything about the Moore dude because he has that shit. Meanwhile, everyone will criticize the Moore dude for doing practically, other than underage, doing practically the same thing as Trump had going on. But it's like, now y'all stuck because y'all made this acceptable, and it was wrong. It was wrong, and you let it happen because winning meant more than morality. And for you know, to even with the problem of Franken, like, that's a problem. Like, that's not even a problem, but all right, if we gonna be right, wrong is wrong. He stepped up to the plate, said what he want to say. Now, if y'all as a group want to kick him out, that's on y'all. But he said, I will own this shit, and I'm saying something. And what y'all want to do from there is that. Like, all right, he did wrong and tried to make right. We don't even have that on the other side.
I feel like I don't know about history, but as far as this recent shit, the Democrats have done it way better than Republicans. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, nigga, Weinstein, well, we just like, hey, get him out. Like, nigga, Republicans just be chilling, nigga. Like, they did it with Trump first, and then with this dude, Roy Moore. But us, we like, even the dude, Al Franken, was like, hey, I'm opening the ethics committee on me or whatever, investigation. I'm like, I think he'll be all right, because at the end of the day, it's like, he wasn't even in Congress at the time. It was, I mean, I guess it's definitely inappropriate, but I mean, it ain't the worst thing in the world. But the underage shit is just like, come on, man, we can't just ignore that shit. It does bother me that it was brought up now, though. I'm like, why don't people? I don't get it. Like, why keep that shit to yourself? Like, at the end of the day, for a 30-year-old to be fucking dating high school kids,
nigga, to be a grown up banned from the mall like you're a child is a problem.
Yeah, he got issues. I ain't saying you can't be redeemed from that shit, but nigga, he probably shouldn't even had his career like that. He should have been doing some more shit, because that sounds weird. And he was preying on motherfuckers from the courtroom and shit. People come to do shit. He was hollering at teenagers and shit. That's weird.
that nigga was shooting the shot.
Yeah.
That motherfucker was shooting the shot like a motherfucker. He's like that shit is creepy though. Like, just because the idea that, man, that's why I gotta do that show, man. Because I do want to talk about that kind of shit. Like, you think about us in high school and some of those teachers who had those little allegations and shit like that.
And you know some of them. And then you hear about it all the time with the women. Just think about how many women. Think about, Miss Ford wanted to fuck at least one person in there. That's an ain't right to kill for. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's so prevalent now. It's just like you think like, man, these teachers want to get a piece of somebody. Like, it's just like, damn. Like, why does it keep happening? And some of them be having good situations. Like, one of them here, she was fucking engaged. She had a train run on her, nigga. About 3 or 4 of them niggas were fucking.
Damn.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, shit. Well, I see.
I would have participated.
That's the shit, like, because it can't go, like, you either got to go both ways, or you got to be, you know, because if you say, all right, but, you know, these young, you know, goddamn LeBron went to the league out of high school, so you see how they can be built, but then you have to get that to, like, the girl, too. Like, the young girls be built all up and shit, so at the same time, I don't know how many cases I know of where, like,
I think that we do gotta.
The motherfucker was 17 or some shit. It's always like 15.
We gotta come to a place where we gotta admit that men and women are different. It's different, man. Yeah. Like, especially when they adolescents. Maybe when they're adults, it's the same.
Shit, nigga, they different all the time. It's just, well, it's the conventional wisdom, and it's like, I think it's the conventional wisdom on top of, we're watching, like, the paradigm shit. Well, not watching. There was always this shift that, like, you know, women have equal plane that they can play on. Now, do they have the same advantages, or do they have some disadvantages? Like, I think we all, like, I think that's the problem. Is like, well, we feel like. Now, granted, men dominate the workforce because basically they got that. We, as men, have that big head start in the work field. But at the same time, you think about certain things where a woman excels at in the workplace than where men excel at in the workplace. And not to say that it can't be done on either side. It's just you're going to probably find more. The same way with gay. Like, it's like where they say, a dude lost his job for being gay, but then they got a pretty good stereotype where it's like, well, shit, he could be an interior designer, he could be this, he could be that. And we're talking about jobs where these motherfuckers are like 80, 90 grand. Huh?
You got any women in the field at your job?
Not anymore. Since I've been there, it was like 3.
It is kind of crazy.
And actually, one of them, she's an engineer now, so.
We had some. I was up at the office Friday, and there was 2 attractive young white ladies that was in the class,
and they were attractive.
Yeah, that was the most important thing about it. And I was like, they belong in somebody's kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they doing trying to locate? And so it was just weird, man. Like, bitch, you got herpes or something? Like, why you can't get a man? Like, why are you trying to work? So it's just weird, dude. Like, I'm done, man.
You go. Keep hanging out that motherfucker. I ain't going.
Man, but it was kind of cool though to see him. I'm like, And we ain't got that. I feel like women. That's why I want Hillary to win. I feel like men fuck up a lot of shit. I think our egos get in our way sometimes. So I'm like, I feel like it's good to have women in the mix. I mean, that's the progressive part of me, and I'm just like, I don't got no problem with it. I think some niggas get intimidated by it. I feel like it's a good thing, and it don't never hurt to see a pretty face at work. So.
See, and what's crazy is like even a statement like that. Let's say you make that blanket statement like that at a workplace. Now you got the fucking problem that all these other dudes have. But we know women, but we also know women who will look at a dude at work and say, so and so is nice on the eyes to have at work from time to like it's these things where we start to get very micro into a problem. It's like it's not really a problem. Now, if a dude, I mean, I don't know, shit, because I ain't got them kind of problems, and I hope to not have it. But
I was downtown Dallas doing an audit when I got back. If you go down there, I swear to God, you'll be so surprised by how these women dress. Like, it's got to be a culture of it. It's got to be a culture that that's how you move forward or something. I'm talking about nigga mini skirts on down there, out like legs for days. Like you would be surprised the attire for downtown Dallas. I'm telling you.
But I think I always feel like that's just a way of I don't want to say advancing. I think women just want to look good, look sexy, in business attire. But I think sometimes that it does help with some gigs. Like a lot of niggas done signed their fucking life over because the chick has some nice legs. So
I think they be knowing that they killing it when they go on to work. Like, oh, I'm gonna kill them today. Like they know. I heard some shit on the radio kind of from Mindy Kaling from the Mindy show, Mindy Project, whatever. She was saying that women dress for women. And so I kind of agree with that to a certain degree, but I'm like,
I think most of it.
And shit.
I think most of it.
Yeah.
And I say that I say that more so today than anything else is because I was just reading some meme or some shit that was online that was like shit I can't remember now. It just slipped me as soon as I said that. But it's just like you look at them, it's like you doing all this shit. Oh, that's what it was. Motherfucker said, y'all, damn, what was it? It was something. Let me think. It go,
I'll hurt yourself.
I want to. Oh yeah, I want to go. I want to look like these chicks and go on all these trips like all these chicks on Instagram, but I don't want to sell my pussy to do it. But like, I think what happens is. And it was either Duval or somebody, but I think what happens is like they are constantly comparing themselves to that kind of shit, and then they go home and they find an outfit that's like that. No different than like when Uggs was real hitting and that equestrian look is real hitting. It's like that's because you got through seeing like 100 different chicks. Like for us, we don't want to. I mean, that's why the Jordan shit is weird to me. I'm at the barbershop and the dude walked in with some sneakers that looked just like my sneakers. Now, these sneakers I had was rare. Like, I got them for that reason. And I looked down, and when my barber come my hair, I picked my foot up. I was like, yeah, man, I don't like that. I don't want to see another nigga in my shoes. Yeah. And it's just like, I wouldn't want to have a look like somebody else completely. And, you know, you can see what females look is basically everyone's look because I would never tights is tights, leggings. The question, like right now, the question look about to start popping back again.
Hey, I'm not blaming women for being sexually harassed at all. I'm just saying in those settings, from what I see, all that shit like in the corporate world, like leggings with like a blazer or something. You can just see all. If a chick got a fat ass, you gonna be seeing that fat ass. If
I do, nice but I do also feel like it's hard, it's rough to also go. Guys should be blah blah blah. It's like shit, we still attracted to something. Like
yeah,
they we still attracted to something. Now, granted, I do need to be the one to rein that shit in. You can't just go grab a motherfucker like, give me some pussy.
Oh no.
Or here's some dick for you. Which is
You remind me of that whole. I think it was it Chappelle who had the whole thing where the one day it was either Chappelle or Patrice had the thing where you ask the woman the holiday where you ask the woman. I've been thinking about this all year. Can I grab your tip? It's just whatever. Like, can I get some hair for you or something? Like, you just gotta put it out there down there because it's like, damn, that would be tough as shit. Obviously, the counter to that is, well, why don't you just talk to her like a regular person? But it's like, that motherfucker is walking around here teasing me all day long, man. Like, you see, I don't care if a bitch got on a sweater and some jogging pants, nigga. When she walks away, I'm be looking to see if I can see some ass.
Every time, and I don't know, like it would, like that's where I go. I don't like we go all the way one way or the other way because I can't. Don't tell me not to do. No, don't tell me that I cannot mate. Basically, like don't you telling me I can't mate? So I'm not supposed to like a chick walks by and she's attractive. I'm not supposed to do anything. It's like, well, shit. If I start to suppress that, it's a lot of chicks that ain't gonna get hollered at. You know, just in general with men, like there's a lot of men. If every man is ignoring you in your outfit, then now you don't ever get hollered at. Now you wondering what's wrong. Now you chasing other chicks and how they look and all this and that. And it's like, well, shit, we want to, but we don't want them damn Harvey Weinstein problems. We don't want them gay problems.
There's probably a percentage of those women that want to be noticed. Because speaking right on the things that you're saying, like a lot of dudes probably don't talk. So I saw this one dude walking with a chick, pretty fucking attractive chick. I was like, I wonder what their dynamic is. Like, is he on the friendship tip and he just can't get past it because they work together or what? Because, like, it's just interesting. I feel like a lot of fucking workplace romances happened back in the day, which, I mean, could be good or bad, but I feel like they ain't all necessarily bad, but now it's looked at so negatively, like, dude got the upper hand. But what if we came in, we both junior account managers or whatever, and we both trying to get to the same place and we just want to fuck around? Like, can we do that shit? Because if she get mad at you, she can easily say, well, he did this, like, it's just, I don't know, man. It just seems fucked up where we at now.
Yeah, it's going to be some, just like, you know, people gonna agree with how you discipline your kids, and then it's like you can't whoop them. Like, come on now.
Shit out my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll beat the shit out of her.
Man, you just have a problem with women. Sounds like it.
You're black and blue, nigga. I couldn't do that, nigga. She fucking pale and shit, nigga. That motherfucker cut. What happened? I fell down the stairs. Like, we ain't got no stairs in my house. I'm gonna fell and shit. Oh, man. She needs some sun in her life.
But that shit does get, man. But no, I think the in general the episode is like, it's one of them episodes for me where I go, shit, if I can talk to him, I can talk to anybody. Because I ain't really done no research. I mean, I know him already. I know a decent amount about him. But, you know, I just went, like, whatever I know about these things I bring up, I just know. And, like, that was probably an intimidating one. I don't think I'm going to have, like, I did The Politician, and I did that one.
That one was good.
I feel like between both of these,
it was inspirational.
I think I got to do a good sports one time because I'm not a stats person, so I don't want nobody to argue me stats. Fuck stats.
I was thinking about this shit one day, like the shit you do and just getting out. I don't know how much you see as far as your work takes you and shit, but even doing your show, you see a lot of different people and talk to a lot of different people and shit and experience. And I'm just like, when I get out, man, I just get so inspired with seeing different shit. Like, cause I realize about myself, I get trapped in my comfort zone easy. And so if I just chill around the house, nigga, I'll be content with a lot of shit. And so when I get out and about, man, I be getting so damn inspired and shit. Or even like when I just being around black people or minorities that's doing shit, that should be inspirational to me, man. I'm on this shit now where I'm like, I feel like a lot of bad things, not bad things necessarily, but like, I don't know, man. It's very good. My what do you call it? Security ain't. I don't feel like it's as strong as it was. Even though, like, as far as my job stuff is secure, but like, it's just like you just never know because so many things are changing, and so it just makes me say, man, I need to get on my shit. I need to put more money away. It just makes me be more prepared, which I feel like is a good thing. I'm not putting shit off and stuff as much. So I'm rising to the occasion. So that's a good thing, but
see, that's why I feel like with the show, like, I mean, amongst all this other shit, because I'm almost finished with the script, basically, and I want to shoot that before the end of the year, but, like, with my show, I think for me doing this combat sports or MMA or whatever show is like, this is going to keep me challenged doing this because I don't know that sport like that. Or, I mean, I know boxing better than I know MMA. I'm more entertained by MMA. And I just happen to got some of the skill points down, but like it challenged me because I know these conversations aren't going to lean culturally black or anything like that. I'm gonna let them go where they go, but I know it's gonna be mostly white guys or and those who could be political standings different than mine, personal standings better than mine. So it like makes me have these different conversations and then try to figure out like were we the same, different, whatever, versus my show, which I never thought was going to be this black for this long, is like a whole, like now, like I'm comfortable doing that. And I'm about to sprinkle in a few white, I say white, but I know there's going to be white guests talking, get back talking film and filmmaking and shit. But even with but then I'm taking some ambitious things. I'm doing another live one and where hopefully get some crowd interaction, which I'm sure it will be. And it's just kind of keeping that challenge there for me. Cause
I know you hear that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay woke, my damn self. But it's but keeping good topics. Like I don't want to ever get to like cliche where I take a topic and I just do the automatic easy thing on the topic.
Yeah. Nigga, just listening to I listened to the Howard Stern show. I'm sure Howard was really good at one.
Hell yeah.
But this nigga shit was so going off the rails, man. I was like, how does this nigga feel? This nigga was talking about scat. If you don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know what it is.
And I'm just like, it got to a point to where it was fucking 15 minutes.
You know,
past.
I mean,
the first 5 minutes was cool.
You saying that shit?
Going.
But you know who listen to that? I mean, I'm gonna generalize a lot, but there's a good chunk of the dude bro thing. The guys who go, if she 15, I'm 15. Like that's who I think listen, because that's such a like I could listen to you listen to Patrice do Two Girls One Cup, and then you can listen to Damian Ali, and it's like it feels like two different kind of grown adult conversations. Yeah. Even though Damian Ali do what they do, versus
that's a good point. It almost sounds like a kid asking questions. Like it's like, bro, you were too old to not know. Like he was just saying shit like, so do you fuck her out there, or it's just like. Okay.
Hey, it'd be like me sometimes though. Like as long as I can get to this hour, I'm gonna say whatever I need to say.
It was so lazy. Like I was just like, I know this dude had to be good at something, and it's unfair for me to judge him off of one show, but a segment of the show. But it was so cringy, man. But like I was listening to some of that shit, and I was like, this nigga's show could be on this shit. Like. Some of the shit they put on there. This one guy, he got a show. It's called like the Nothing Show or something. It's actually pretty dope.
I'm
He said
trying to
something
get on
that
the thing. I'm trying to get on this black network. I mean, I basically created a network, but I'm trying to get. I'm kind of famous on a certain network, so that it hopefully gets people over to mine. But on some other shit, man. So I made this statement about that EFC shit. I made a statement about people come to the fight backstage with cameras and we never see content. And it's like I don't care. Like I make what I'm making with my shit before it to be like 5 or 6 other cameras in the back. Just basically how I feel, like just enjoying the show and a free ticket to be up close and personal and us never seeing the content. No, one of the fighters. He always got like some camera people with him, and it's fucking obnoxious and annoying because it's like he's creating his own celebrity attention. I don't know if you know the Miz from the real world. He in the WWF or WWE, and he had a persona that basically was like a celebrity, so cameras and media and like was always around him, but it was all like he manufactured that to be around him, and it's basically the same thing this fighter does. And so every fight he's done that, and I'm just like, where's the shit? All these cameras, and this time I was annoyed because these motherfuckers was just sitting around the damn cage and shit. So I had made a Facebook comment about it. Cause I was like, I'm like, man, y'all in my fucking way, and for me, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna get in the shot, but at the same time, I look at these fighters who, like, the backstage is their domain, and just all this other shit. But so now I made the comment, and now videos start coming out of shit they making. I'm just sitting up like, man, y'all niggas is trash. Like, and it's not even like the matter of like me being any much more better, but it's just like y'all got these expensive ass cameras. Everybody, I got probably the cheapest camera back there. Everybody got an expensive camera and doing expensive shit. And then I see the content they make, and I'm just like, y'all are fucking awful. And for y'all to be around this dude and constantly running video, and I know they do video for other shit, it's like, this should, for that camera, if I had any of those cameras, motherfuckers probably regard me as one of the greatest motherfuckers. Because, I'm limited in ways in the things that I do, so I'm smarter in the way that I do shit. Whereas they got $800-900 cameras, 2 cameras, and then I'm a one-man crew, and like some of them are working together, and then you see the shit that comes out of it. I'm like, that's it? That's what y'all was out here following one person. I'm following a whole show by my fucking self. Y'all follow one person, and this what y'all made. And just enjoying the scenery. And I'm like, that shit should be limited. It shouldn't even really be that many people at these fucking, in the backstage like that. Without, like, if you got a camera, like, and you're not real media, then whoever you with, be with that person. You shouldn't be at the stage for anything else. Because we're not benefiting from it. We're not getting no advertisement for it. Y'all not promoting it. So what the fuck is the purpose of you being there? It'd be different to me if, like, they was shooting and there was a receipt for what they did, and it was it ain't even really got to be amazing, to be honest, but be good. I mean, granted, this is the first time, and it's funny. I don't know if it was me or they just happened to do it this time, but I'm glad this shit is out there. It's just not good. It look great, look stunning, but it's not good.
What shit going on?
And then it's another dude who's making a fucking documentary, I guess. I don't know. Which I think I already knew him before he joined got into this thing. I'm like, this is a fucking con man. He's using, I'm gonna say using caveman or whatever, but he's using them and to create his own story, which he's not a good storyteller. I think that type of shit annoy me. Being around actual filmmakers now, like, it annoys me when I see people who show up with all this fancy shit and make shit.
Man, you are the tool, not the camera.
100%.
That's why you gotta think about this shit.
That's 100% true.
If you don't think about it like that, if you don't think about it like that, then you're gonna be like, I need a new camera for this, or I need a new camera for that, and you don't really work on yourself, your talent. Like you always talking about you asking people about this and learning new techniques. I mean, they probably ain't doing that shit. They probably ain't got no plan for it.
Hey,
you know
motherfuckers love my shit. Ain't nobody ask me no question. I mean, there's some people who do. There's filmmakers that hit me up, but these video dudes, ain't nobody ever fucking asked me shit. Motherfucker come out here, and I bet some of it is because they look at, oh, he just using that such camera. But how is it I'm using the such camera, and then I turn around and make shit that is good enough for TV, apparently, or good enough to win this, or good enough to be in that, and you just making whatever it is you making. Like, I think, like, I was saying to myself, I think I want to shoot a couple music videos just to fucking, just to say I did, but also to put my own spice to something like that. Because these motherfuckers are doing all that kind of shit. And that's what they do. It's one dude who I think is super dope. Who, and he's asked me shit. But he's also a filmmaker. He shot one of the other events. He was vaccine. And I told him, hey man, like he was being respectful for one. So I appreciated that. But he was just like, I'm seeing him and I know him to be dope. I respect his work. I'm like, bro, go ahead and go over there, go do that. Catch that shit right there. Like, don't worry about me, man. You got, like, I'm giving him the fucking the push because I'm like, I know you finna do something dope and I want to see that shit my damn self. But he's also up. He ain't in no chair. I never saw him sitting down that day either. These other motherfuckers all catching chairs and shit, leaning and carrying on. Like, man, what the fuck y'all doing, man? Y'all trying to work or not? Like, and you covering it. Like, to me, I don't really sit down because I ain't trying to miss shit. I hear everything.
Yeah.
I got 360-degree hearing when I'm shooting. Cause I'm like, oh shit.
Okay.
I'm like, shit. Oh, Cody said this. It's crazy, but I don't like if you go like when I put these things together, it's crazy some of the shit, the content I got, cause I'm just right there, and I can look at it and go, damn, I got that, and I was over here. I don't know what made me go over there and catch that shit.
What would you do if somebody was trying to make they was doing a documentary and they asked you for your footage? Would you charge them, or what would you do with that?
Yeah, you gotta secure the bag. Gotta secure the bag.
Man, it's getting cold like a bitch.
Motherfucker hit me up and like, hey, we working on a doc. Can we use the footage? Like, shit, yeah, you can.
Every time about
oh, but no, okay. So this, hold on. So this is the other obnoxious shit that this fighter did. So every fight he done had with us, with EFC, he's had a camera crew. So he walks out with a video package, which is cool. Half the fucking shit on the video package was my shit. I'm like, I'm tripping because I'm like, for one, you should have asked me for that right off rip. Two, because not just on the strength that you gonna have to see me.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you and your people gonna have to cross my path. So just on the up and up, you should have been like, hey, is it okay if I use this, or we gonna use some of this, da 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 da. Now he may have asked somebody and it wasn't me, and they probably said, yeah, whatever. But so that's that. But I'm also tripping like, why do you need any of my fucking footage when you got the fucking camera crew every time you fight? You should have had your own fucking great footage. Every time I make a video for somebody now, if they fought for us, I'm using all my footage. I ain't gotta go use any of their other fights no more because now I got some roll of you that I can put together and make a video package for you. But he got his own people. Use your own shit. But that to me is a testament of how garbage these people are to me. Like that shows me that y'all not even that good. You probably don't even have no good footage. Like matter of fact, to even echo that, I looked at two different videos. One of them was he had like a 2, and it was all about him. But one of them they had a 3-camera dude, and then another one was a 2-camera situation. None of the footage was good. Everybody do rock music, like heavy grunge rock music. Everybody do slow-mo. Like, that's cool and all, but you're not saying no with none of this shit. Like, I think no matter what the video is, no video, for me, no video is just a video. It's saying some shit. It has to have a certain impact to it at the end. If you ain't doing that shit, you just fucking, like, that's why a motherfucker, like, it's disrespectful in a way to say, oh, that's just a video guy, because I look at it bigger than that. I think that's what video guys do. They put shit together. And then, boom, there you go.
For sure.
For me, when I say cinematographer, nigga, cinema, the storytelling, like, it's something there. It's more than just the video part of it. Granted, it's interchangeable. They both mean the same shit, but there's a prestige to the cinematographer version versus the video guy, videographer. For me.
There's this dude that I follow on YouTube who been trying to rap. And he been getting this shit on World Star lately. And he got a professional crew to do his video. And everybody just like, his shit get like over 1 million, like almost 2 million views, and like less than a week and shit. And then, I mean, he always get a lot of views, but a lot of people are like, man, this is about to blow like it's him. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. But it looks professional. I mean, it look good, the video and shit. I said it's the same kind of music. It's just the video did that much more, and the whole video is just him, basically. You know what I mean? It's different scenes, but there ain't no entourage. There ain't no women shaking their ass.
That's the dopest. Man, I just watched this video. I don't know if you know this chick, Young M.A., or sometimes people say Young Mom. She got a song called Walk. I posted that shit on my Facebook, the video. Nigga, the video is basic. It's just her rapping. But it's so dope to me. And it's just like she at her fucking apartment, and nigga, she just playing the music, and then she just spitting that shit. But what the video guy do was make it so fucking, and then her animations to the song in terms of body language and shit just work so good. I'm like, nigga, this is one of the dopest videos I've seen. Ain't nothing going on.
That shit, man. I love that shit. Like, man, a person can, we take kind of that Dale did. I mean, people do it over. I like when they do it just because it do kind of help you pay attention to the song. And I'm just like, I'm listening to the lyrics and shit, and I'm like.
But I also think it's a testament to how good your video person is. To go, I can make, let's do that. I can make it work. And it's not like we at the crib and we just being silly. It's like we gonna make this shit like, nigga, we just chilling. We like you just caught this video, you caught this song in the moment. Meanwhile, I run into a lot of artists who need to put together a whole situation to have a video.
So, in light of you being kind of famous,
why the hell I'm kind of famous? Who the hell she know?